in my book now. It's
Oh
time
yeah, that's right. We were supposed to be talking about IndieGoGos here.
to. So this is Super Harem. It'll be launching on IndieGoGo, as you can see, April 29th. It's a very funny book. It'll be like one of the sexy, raunchy comedies that Hollywood used to make before they got all PC. You can think about like something about Mary, Road Trip, stuff like that, American Pie. It's about this ordinary guy, Tim. He's a little bit of an emo, sad little guy, but he's got a power that any woman he sleeps with is imbued with superhuman abilities. He's got magic sperm from hell.
Oh god, I could not make this shit
So I
up,
guess he
man.
doesn't do the pull-out technique.
No, well, you want those powers, I guess. But so what happens is he there's a girl, Sophie, that's the love of his life. She ran out on him an undetermined amount of time ago, and so he's been single all this time. And at a drinking party, he meets Journey, who's the girl we're seeing right here, and she's like this trashy, crazy chick. And in a one night stand, he gives superpowers to the one person that should probably have never had superpowers, and now he's stuck with her. And so Journey's the kind of the real main character, and we'll see. She does a lot of fun stuff. The problem with the powers is they
Wow.
actually come from hell. So when you use them, there's a chance that it might summon a giant demon, and that's what
Oh.
she's fighting, this giant squid. But Journey actually wanted to fight giant monsters, so she's like expending energy to summon them, and that's what whenever she just wants to test herself. That's what we see all the three girls, the main girls here, from left to right. There's Journey, Ashley, and Sophie.
Wow, this is badass. Did Joe draw this?
Yeah, the artist is Joe Ball. You can see he does very fine, detailed work. He does awesome monsters and sexy ladies, and that's what this book is all about. Sexy ladies and really cool monsters, and there's going to be plenty of both of those things.
Damn, I am sold on. You have me sold on this book. I mean, okay, I gotta give you this, man. Like you had this insane off the wall concept, and the only way that you were gonna make this concept stick was to get somebody like Joseph Ball to fucking draw it for you.
Yeah, I actually have like 75% of the book drawn already in my style. And that's what I used to give him. I gave him the what I had, and I was like, just have fun with it. Take what I did and make it your own. And he's really just been going crazy with it. He's having a blast, and it shows on the page. I think when you know that the people who worked on a book had a lot of fun, it comes out on the book like you have fun.
Oh, I think that's 100% true. That definitely comes through in the writing and in the art. So where did the concept of this story come from? Where the fuck did you draw this up from?
I really don't even know how I come up with these crazy ideas. Like it just pops into my head, and it's almost like I'm watching a movie of it happening in my brain. It's just a weird way that my brain
God,
works.
look at that art.
And what I'll tell you something funny. Whenever that I'm inspired like this and the stuff's playing out in my head, I get into it sometimes, and I'll be like acting it out, and I'll even know it. And I was at work. I worked at a shipping company, so I was unloading a truck, and I was really into writing a book one time, and I just yelled out, "I'll kill him!" And I looked behind me, and there was this little woman standing there, like just scared to death.
Because
And like,
some crazy dude just screamed, "I'll kill him" to himself.
yeah, out of nowhere, like, and you can't explain that. Like, you just kind of go back to unloading the truck and pretend like she wasn't there.
Oh my god. So okay, so you actually did like the layouts for this book.
Yeah, I've already drawn almost the entire comic myself. But like you were saying, like an idea like this needs better art than what I can do. Like my art is fun, but it's cartoony and silly, and I think that the comics gay audience doesn't really want that. They want big production values, and I want to give the customer what they want.
No, that you are 100% correct. A lot of these campaigns that either fail or don't do as well as they should, I think a lot of it.
Hey, I gotta head out. Birthday stuff. So
Oh, right on, dude.
I'll
Well,
talk to
hey,
you.
thank you very much.
No problem.
Everybody follow Man of Sex on Twitter.
And
I think I dropped all your stuff in the description. So
nice talking with you, Matt. Have a good
Yeah,
morning.
it was nice. I'm glad we're friends on Twitter now.
Yeah, we twatter friends. We can
Yeah.
twat each other.
it's official. It's official.
All right.
Well, hey, have a happy birthday, Man of Sex.
Thanks.
Yeah,
a lot,
happy
man.
birthday.
Thank you. Well, you guys have a great time.
I'll have to get this
Wow.
art up now, but I have it readily available. So
All right, good deal. I think you're spot on with what you said. The Comicsgate audience right now is definitely looking for Cyber Frog level stuff. You know, John Malin level stuff, Donald Delay level stuff, Joseph Ball level stuff.
yeah, that's the whole thing is they want these high production values that they're used to getting from the big two, and it's just not there anymore. And
Exactly.
they're willing to pay to get it. You know, like these aren't cheap books. But if you're doing this level of production value for a run of like 1,000, 5,000 books, you know, it's going to be really expensive.
Yeah, but worth it. I think worth it in the end.
Yeah, you know, money only has the value you give it. Really, if it's worth it to you, then it's worth it. But this is what it looks like when I was drawing it. This is my concept art of Journey and Tim and Sophie fighting over each other.
It definitely kind of has that Sunday newspaper cartoon feel to it.
Yeah, maybe we can do an ash can like this just to be silly if we get enough money. I think
Dude,
that
actually,
might be fair.
that's a good idea. You know, as far as stretch goals go for you, doing an ash can in your style, or even doing maybe like a release of your original pages. I mean, might be kind of cool. You know,
Yeah,
it'd be to hold them side by side and be like, this is what it could have been, and this is what it really is. I think would be kind of cool to see.
yeah, people would probably like that too.
People
Here's the
love the making of stuff, man. That's a
yeah.
big thing.
This is a sexy pinup that Carlo Rowe did for me.
This is a degenerate pinup.
Yeah, this is funny. Like I was showing this the other day on the kids' table, and Serena was in there, and she was like, "This kind of turns me off to it." I'm going to explain what actually happened because the actual comic you can see it's not porn. It's not like this. But what happened was I went to Carl and I was like, I'm doing this sexy comic and I want a pinup that's going to just enrage my enemies. I want something that when SJW see it, like it drives them absolutely insane, and then they show it everywhere and they're like, look at this, can you believe this misogyny? And Carlo Rowe, he's just like, I got you, fam. And he comes back with this.
Okay. If that's what he was going for, he fucking nailed it. Because this is definitely going to get people's attention. I mean, you got the who's the pink hair up front?
That's Journey, and then Sophie's in the middle, and then Ashley's in the back.
Okay, so you got Journey is showing off that lustrous camel toe right there. That moose knuckle is quite prevalent. And I've stared at this picture for quite some time, unashamedly, and I can't decide. Journey's nipples, like the areola, just must be like the size of a nickel. Because who's the one who's in the very back? You said
Ashley.
Ashley. She's actually got a little areola, I think, poking out of that bra that she's got on.
Yeah, Carl went all out making this very triggering.
Oh, this is super triggering. I mean, when I seen this, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I want their little like robot brains to just spurg out completely.
I think that's definitely going to happen because it almost made my robot brain spurg out. So the book is not nearly as degenerate as this pinup
No,
suggests.
no, it'll be along the lines of something like something about Mary, something like that. It's not porn. It's just a sexy comedy. It's really silly, and it's got really cool action. But it's what I realized whenever that Serena was saying that people might get the wrong idea from this. The whole point of this is just to make SJWs mad because I've already got a concept that I think that they would not like at all. And I just wanted to push them as far as I could.
Well, I think you're going to succeed in that goal. This picture, I think will definitely get you clicks. If you put that out there, if people get a hold of this, they're going to eventually find the IndieGoGo, and I guarantee once they actually look at the book, I guarantee they back it. I did want to, before I forget, is this book going to be in color?
We have a guy that I'm hoping is going to color it. We're definitely going to try and get it colored. We're working that out right now. So I have the initial goal that we have. If we hit that, it's going to pay for Joe's art and the printing. So hopefully we'll go over that, and that's why I'll use that for coloring if we end up going over the goal.
Okay, so actually coloring you could work that in as a stretch goal then.
Yeah, I want to do it like not even as a stretch goal, but my plan is to have it colored. It's just I didn't want because you see the work Joe does. His page rate is pretty high,
I would
and
imagine.
I want to get the book done, and I set the goal as low as I possibly could because I didn't want to ask for too much and end up not making it.
Yeah. Can you reveal your goal?
Yeah, it'll be 7,500.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good I think like that's a solid range. It's something that's not unattainable. Like you said, it's gonna basically pay for Joseph. It's gonna pay for the printing, and then anything else is gonna go, back into the book essentially, right?
Yeah, for a little while, probably until we get to about 10K. I was thinking that if I set it too high, and I'm not one of these guys like John Malin or somebody that I've got that kind of reach, I don't think I would make a goal like that at first.
Yeah. Yeah, like we had 2 weeks ago, I think it was, we had Clint from Sweetcast on talking about Downcast, and his goal I think was only like 6 or 7 grand. It's a good, modest, attainable, and then I mean he's there and past. I think he's approaching 20 now. So
Yeah,
yeah, kudos to
optics
him.
optics are a big deal with something like that. If you come in and you don't have a wide audience already and you're asking for a ridiculous amount of money, like people are just going to ignore you. I think they it looks fishy.
I think so too. Because I've seen a couple campaigns that of new guys that I've never heard of before, which is, I love that kind of stuff. But they're posting like $10,000 and $12,000 goals, and it's like, dude, I've never heard of you. You're not like a prominent YouTuber. You have no established audience. Like, what makes you think that you're even gonna come close to attaining that?
Well, I don't know if you ever saw this, but about a year ago, there was this book that was up on IndieGoGo called Red Giant Battle, and they were asking for $50,000.
Holy cow! No, I did not.
And I even confronted the guy on Twitter, and I was like, "What? Nobody knows who you are. Like, how do you think you're going to get 50K?" Even like EVS didn't ask for that much money. And he just tried to roast me and say that my art was shitty and all this, and I was like, "This is about you, bro." And then he left Twitter altogether. He got so mad.
Well, you made a guy. You forced a guy off of Twitter.
Yeah, he was so mad at me asking. I was just asking him about why his goal was so high. Like I was really curious, but
Yeah.
he didn't like being confronted about it.
Well, that's he's I'm assuming the book failed.
Yeah, it didn't get anywhere near 50K.
Jeez.
And
Yeah,
I'll
people
tell
got to be
you,
smart about this.
the way he had it set up, I don't think it would have succeeded if his goal was like mine, because he didn't have any sequentials to show, and he was showing in his list like the stuff that the money was going to, and one of the things was concept art. Like if you're going on IndieGoGo and you don't even know what your characters look like, you need to rethink that. It's a bad situation.
Yeah, that comes off as a huge money grab. Like, hey, give me a bunch of money and then I'll go do something with it.
Yeah.
Not, I have something for you, give me money for it. That is how you should approach these campaigns.
I looked over the whole thing, the whole campaign, and I don't even know what Red Giant Battle is about.
It's probably because he just had the title. He's like, this sounds really cool. I want to see if I can get people to fund this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on writing my own books, and until I find an artist, I decided I'd take on some editing jobs. And this one gentleman that I was talking to, uh, he was talking about launching this summer, and he doesn't have like anything really ready. Like he was basically talking about launching, like kind of like what you're saying,
Yeah.
like launching and then providing the book. And I'm like, dude, that's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. If you want to get funded, if you want to make money on this book, you got to have something to show for it first. If
Yeah.
you could
Well,
get the book complete first, that's the best way to go. But I know that's not always plausible. That's not always monetarily available to everybody.
you've
At this point, I couldn't afford to pay for an entire an entire book right now.
you've
But
got to have some sequentials. You've got to, because it's like we were saying, the whole point of all of this is that this audience, they want high production values. And if you can't show what your book looks like, you're not getting that money.
no, no, and that's where I know that's why a lot of these guys fail, because they don't have enough content on their page. They don't have enough detail. They're not promoting themselves enough. That's a huge issue. I don't understand how anybody just expects to put a book on IndieGoGo and for it to
Yeah.
succeed.
Well, look, anybody that hears this, if you want me on your stream, I'm looking to come and talk to you about Super Harem. So please hit me up on Twitter.
Yeah, and I do simulcast this on Anchor FM. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Not is it like a Stitcher kind of site or something like that?
What it's a podcast, kind of like an aggregate site.
Yeah.
You upload, your podcast to it, and then it disperses it to let's see, I'm on Spotify, I'm on iTunes podcast, Google Podcasts. There's like 7 different platforms that you can actually download the Arch City streams from.
Oh, that's a good idea. I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna.
they you can do your own ads, and they pay you. It's a really cool little website. I got to give a shout out to RJ from Critical Blast for telling me about it.
I'm gonna look into that for my own show. Was doing a regular stream called Turbo Live, but unfortunately that fell apart. So I'm gonna have to figure out something else to do. but I will be getting back on my YouTube channel soon.
Nice. Yeah, man, YouTube's kind of the way to go,
Yeah.
especially with promotions. I know, and now I know a couple comic skaters are using D Live. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, that site's getting big now because PewDiePie went over there.
Ah, okay.
But I'm going to tell you, D Live, like the whole thing seems fishy. So if you're thinking about checking that out, I would ask you to be apprehensive.
Oh, I'm already apprehensive about it. Like I said, I know a couple guys that are messing around with it. I'm kind of interested to see what happens with them first before I jump into the pool.
It might be some kind of scam to mine cryptocurrency, is what it's looking like.
Oh, well, that's a good possibility. And I mean, Jesus, the internet's full of scams. I don't trust anybody really.
I'll tell you what's sad is that Stream.me was really good. I wish that they hadn't gone down because we need some good alternatives to these big websites.
Well, yeah, because so many people now, people are getting demonetized for no reason. Um, YouTube's unsubscribing people for no reason. Hell, even Twitter. I was going through my Twitter followers the other day, and I noticed that a bunch of people, and I know they didn't unfollow me because I still talk to them, but they're no longer following me.
Yeah, I lose Twitter's followers all the time. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I know, I did a couple of those stupid Follow Friday things where
Yeah.
I got a whole bunch of followers from that, and then like 2 weeks later, of course, probably 90% of them will drop off. But I mean, it's like comic skaters that I know we're still cool. I know there's no beef or anything. Uh, but either
Yeah.
I've become unfollowed or they've become unfollowed.
Well, I haven't unfollowed anybody, so if you see that I'm not following you anymore, it was Twitter. Just let me know, and I'll get back on there. Anybody that's listening to this,
Yeah,
it,
same here. Same here.
I pulled this up because we were talking about people might want to see like what I did and where Joe's going with it. This is Journey, Salmon, and the Squid. So this is the scene that we've been showing from Joe, but this is with my art instead of his.
Oh, yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're like I said, you've got that cartoony style, which is not a bad thing. But
Yeah. This is fine if you're doing like a free web comic. This isn't what that people want to pay for. So that's why
hey,
we're
at least you are aware of your own limitations, as it were.
yeah. But yeah, I've had success a lot with doing web comics. People like it for that. But yeah, with Comicsgate, they want the high production values, and I want to give it to them.
No, yeah, that's what you should do. Now, I'm actually glad you brought that up. What else have you worked on?
Well, I have a graphic novel called Aldrake versus Krona's Knights. And if you go to Indie Planet and you search Aldrake, you'll find it. And right now, the digital is free. So if you want to see my writing style, how it goes before you buy Super Harem, you can read Aldrake versus Krona's Knights right now for free. And it's a 200-page black and white graphic novel. It's a lot of fun. The character in my profile right here, that's Aldrake. He's my guy. He's this crazy redneck, and he's possessed in his soul is shared with a dragon soul, and it manifests itself in his armor. He wears this crazy dragon bone armor, and so he's kind of like Conan mixed with Lobo.
Dude, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The Aldrake versus Kronos Knights is his origin story, and I've done other stuff with this character too. But you can read the graphic novel to see how he came to be who he is.
Nice. Do you have the chat open? Can you drop that link?
Uh, Yeah, let me find it real fast. We can talk about something else.
What did you what did you think we'll get back to the wokeness for a minute. What did you think? First of all, I guess, are you a James Bond fan?
I like it all right. I'm not like super hardcore, but I am annoyed with that news that I seen what you're getting at, that they brought that feminist down to make it more woke.
Yeah. Like, oh, come on. Like, I understand. It's that whole thing that we're losing our. I don't know what to do with this world anymore. Hollywood has gone to shit. Hollywood has just completely lost the plot. You know, it's not about entertainment anymore at all. It's about being as politically correct as possible. And that's
Well,
not entertaining.
any kind of corporate entertainment now is just all about, but just straight propaganda. They don't know how to entertain anymore.
No, they don't
Is
know how to write an
does
original story anymore either.
does that link work? I dropped it in the chat.
Yeah, I just seen that. It's
Yeah, so this is a limited time offer. You can get the digital for free. And you can also get signed copies on Etsy. If you read the book and you really like it, I'll be glad to send you a signed copy.
oh cool. Yeah, because I tell you what, I don't like digital. I mean, I'll read digital. I like having digital as a backup, in a sense, but I don't purchase digital. I
Yeah.
want that book in my hand.
I'll show you what the physical looks like. Let me get this on camera right here. So that's Aldrake versus Cronus Knights. You can see it's a pretty thick book.
Oh yeah,
There's a lot of good action in it. There's a lot of funny gags. And
it does look like that link worked too, by the way. So
okay. You can see one thing that I do a lot is I like to make fun of Tom King. I really
my
hate
kind of
I
guy.
really I really hate writers that they do these like subversive things, the little twists that they do. They think that they're clever, but really it just pisses off your audience. When you read Aldrake versus Cronus Knights, you'll see almost every character has some kind of crazy twist about them, and it's fun. It doesn't piss you off. That's one thing I get a lot of
Nice.
feedback about, is people really like the way that plays out.
Well, I'll definitely have to check that out. Yeah, because you brought up Tom King. I despise
I
Tom King.
actually
I just absolutely despise that man. I think he's the
We
worst
call
comic
him
book
Om
writer that
because
I've
he's
ever
so
read.
low T. We don't let him have his tea.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, he is, and with two of my absolute
Yeah, I think you cut out there. Are you
characters,
there?
also Batman, all over both of them.
Yeah, you're like cutting out on me.
Oh, did I go all robotic?
Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it sounds all right now.
Okay, all right. No, what I was saying was Tom King has ruined two of my absolute favorite DC characters, and that's Batman and Booster Gold.
Oh yeah. I haven't read any of Heroes in Crisis because I just think that the whole concept is silly. Like I could see you making that as like a 4-issue mini, but it's going on what, 8 issues now, and it's not
It's
wrapping
a
up.
nine issue book, and it is one of the most decompressed comics I've ever written.
I just don't know how you take that concept and make it that stretch it out that far.
He's doing the same thing with Batman right now. He's got this concept that he built his 100-issue run on, could have been condensed to about we'll say 36 just to be on the nice side. He must have taken lessons from Brian Michael Bendis, because he's another one that is the king of taking a 5-issue story and stretching it out into 50 issues.
Well, if you were one of these goofy guys now that are in the pros, I guess Brian Michael Bendis would be like your hero because he's the one that started all of this.
That's true. That is actually true.
And his head looks like a giant nutsack.
Yeah. Ever since he got sick, like he looks like walking death. But yeah, Bendis, that's actually, those two, Bendis and King, are like two of the main reasons why I don't even go into my comic shop anymore. Because I picked up Heroes in Crisis #1, because I was super curious. Like I said, Booster Goals, my guy. I wanted to see what was going on with this story. I hated it. I didn't think it was good at all. Everybody kept comparing it to Identity Crisis, which had its moments. It wasn't the best series in the world, but I went back into the comic shop, and they had it in my pull, and I took it out and set it back on the counter, and he goes, "Oh, you don't want that?" I go, "No, wasn't a fan of issue 1." And I got like barraged by 3 people in the store about how it was so awesome, and it was this like mind-blowing, groundbreaking comic book. And I was like, and then they'd start on the same thing about Bendis's Superman run, which was starting. I think they started around the same time,
That's
pushing
what
these terrible books on me, and I'm like, all right, as much as I want to support my local LCS, I'm not going to support you if you're going to keep pushing your fucking swill on me.
Well, I'd say they really believe that. What's so funny about people are so brainwashed by this mainstream media, like they read on Bleeding Cool or whatever, that Tom King is this great genius and this deconstructionist, and then they believe it. They read the comic, and that's what they're thinking about is that Bleeding Cool article. And it's like the emperor has no clothes, you know? Like they don't want to be the one to say, hey, this isn't that good, because then they look silly to all their other friends.
I guess it's that whole hive mind mentality. And I'll be honest, I've been there. I at one time, not even that long ago, I was walking around with blinders on my eyes, completely oblivious to everything that was
Oh
really
yeah,
happening.
hey, I'll tell you
Uh,
when I got red pilled. It was the 2016 election. I had every intention to vote for Bernie Sanders, and whenever that he just cucked over to Hillary, like he got cheated out of the nomination, and then he went and kissed her ring, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm voting for Trump." And I was totally like, well, I was watching the Daily Show and everything, dude. Seriously, like I was totally blue pilled, and I was just voting for Trump out of spite. But when I actually started listening to him, like it turned my whole worldview around, because the stuff he was actually saying wasn't anything like what I was being told.
oh yeah, yeah. If you get if you get your news from the Democrats, you're gonna get a Democratic leaning news, and it's gonna be